I'd like to call the meeting to order and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item on the agenda is acceptance of the agenda. Is there any modifications, changes?
Make a motion.
Hearing none, I got a motion. I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. No one has signed up for public comments. So Jonathan?
Good morning, good to see everybody. Wanted to give you a couple of updates. I sent out our biweekly email last week. In your packet today, the document that looks like this is a public awareness and strategic communication plan that our teams put together. This is really kind of the culmination of wanting to make sure that the public is aware of the things that the county council and the county commissioners are doing, providing regular updates to the community, and just overall increasing public awareness of working to be more transparent on the things that are happening in county government. I sent this to you in your email last week. I would certainly be happy to answer any questions you have. I think this will be a great way that we can put regular updates in Perry County News and on our website to help continue to communicate the good things that are happening here. We also sent out the results of the community survey. At the end of that, we received 382 responses. That report was sent to you a couple of weeks ago, and I attached it to last week's email as well. It would be my recommendation that we ultimately publish that on the website, get that out in the community. The public always likes to see, after they were asked for input, they would like to see, what the ultimate result was. And then that will help us as we're developing strategies over the coming year. The next thing that I wanted to update you on is conversations that Commissioner Cole and I've had regarding I-64 and the State Road 37 interchange. We've talked even in meetings recently about trying to get water and sewer out there and service that area for future growth. I have today some colleagues of mine, Mary Adkins and Josh Hood from Wesler Engineering. We have solicited quotes from several engineering firms over the last couple of months to kind of look at that area and give us their opinion on opinion of cost to evaluate that area, to get utilities there and help give the county a usable strategy, identify potential funding sources to be able to service that area and then start to market that for economic growth. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Mary and Josh and let them kind of talk to you about a proposal that I have sent to you previously, and I think they have some copies as well. And then after they're done, then I'll talk about it as well. Thanks.
Hi, thanks for having us. The folder that you have in front of you on the left-hand side is just a snapshot of Wesler Engineering. So I wanted to introduce you to Wesler. We've been in business for 50 years and celebrating 50 years this year, actually. And I'm in our Indianapolis office, our headquarters, and Josh is in our Evansville office. I'm one of the vice presidents, and my area of expertise is environmental and stormwater. And then Josh is one of our project managers in our office, and he specializes in wastewater and drinking water. He's in the wastewater group, though. So on the right-hand side of your packet is the proposal that we put together. John and I had talked about that and tried to understand what your needs are. There's also just a map in case there's anything we want to talk about. If you have questions, it kind of shows the area up there near the St. Croix where the highway is and State Road 37 intersect is kind of the area that we would be looking at in this study. But the ultimate goal would be to look at getting water and sewer there to service that area for future development. So as we understand, there is potentially water there already, and that sewer may be the option that we're looking at, how might you get sewer to that area? And then one other thing that we would look at is the potential for a regional sewer district, right? That you might develop your own wastewater treatment plant to treat the sewage in that area, and then the steps that would be taken to support your own utility in that area. And so one positive about that is that you could grow it, right? So there's other unsewered areas in the county that if you started a regional sewer district, you could grow. But so we would look at that as an option, as well as connecting to other nearby utilities. So there's the Patoka Lake is nearby, and then here in Tell City, there's another utility. So anyway, it's just a study that would wrap our hands around what would need to be done to get to that intersection. And it would be cost estimates and give you an idea of what infrastructure might need to go in to get water and sewer to those areas for the potential for a regional sewer district. So if you have any questions, we're here to answer that. And Josh can talk a little more technically. I was kind of just the overview. So if there's any questions, we're happy to talk.
Is Josh going to tell us something yet? I've got a couple of things we needed that come to mind right away as we're talking, but I thought if he's going to go ahead, I'd allow him to.
I didn't really have anything other than, from what we understand, everything's kind of going towards Tell City as far as sewer goes. The Branchville area there is going towards Tell City. It looks like it might be too far to take the St. Croix area, so that's why we're introducing the possibility of regional sewer districts. And we know it's a big undertaking, for the county or somebody to do that, but we are, leaving all options open, just see what we could do there.
Okay, so my question is, we're in the process right now looking at a water project that's going to be pretty much countywide. In that area, I think Patoka has a major line, and we're looking at a BOT that Jonathan's going to bring up here shortly. How would we're going to have, I'd say, 3 probably water utilities that will have involvement in this: Patoka, Antro, and Troy Township. How would you envision what you're proposing in the sewer to not be redundant with what's going to be required with the water project, at the same time incorporate that so that it actually makes some sense what we're trying to accomplish? Are you to stay on the end of the sewer end of it and not what you're thinking?
Yeah, our thought was that the water would be more simple just because there is water nearby, and that the sewer would be more challenging to take a look at. So the primary focus may be on the sewer part of it. But John had mentioned this other regional project, right? So if for some reason that doesn't go through, this would be a study for you to say, how can we get water and sewer to this intersection for economic development, right? And part of what we were going to do is to connect with the nearby utilities to find out what is the infrastructure nearby and what capacity do they have to serve, right? Those would all be parts of what we're looking at, so.
Is the Antro water study we already did going to be helpful with this? Because I know it's been a
Well, they had what the interest is in the area. That's all in the whole county, and that's part of this other project we're working on. But the sewer end of it's kind of it's an egg and chicken thing out there. We don't have any real use or need, but no one will take a look at it without having a sewer. So.
If you build it, they will come, right?
Well, I hope so, but again, that's one of our challenges, and depending on how we approach that, we may need to crawl before we get up and run. So that's what Jonathan and I had spoke about, how we could accomplish something where we don't spend an enormous amount of money on a sewer system or something in that area that can never function properly just because it doesn't have the volume. So those are some of our areas of concern, but if we don't have a sewer, then our industrial prospects look away to other locations. That's
Right.
just where we're at.
And there was, as you recall, there was a previous light study that was done that ended up with a map that showed a potential sewer treatment plant. but
Is
there
this
were
the
no-
intro
No,
study?
no, no, this
No,
was
this
one
was-
Bernard and Lockmiller did
Okay.
it probably 12 years ago,
Yeah,
15
12
something.
years ago.
Yeah.
14.
There were no cost estimates with that to understand what the application was or what the impact would be. Ultimately, at the end of that, the process Mary's described, there would be not only potential costs, but then also funding sources and, different avenues that you could go through or that you could follow to help fund it. But at the end of the day too, if it doesn't make sense for you to start a regional sewer district, it makes more sense to attach to an existing sewer. That's all part of that work as well. So we tried to kind of bookend it and make sure that you were covered on both ends and it wasn't just a sole direction that we were going down and with a potential dead end. So kind of giving you some options on both sides.
So my assumption is what he just stated there is you'll reach out to, and in this case, it's Tell City has a force main at Branchville and find out what their capacity, whether they're even interested or not. And
Yeah.
they-
You want to be on the team?
I don't, no, I don't.
So the study you're doing is for water and sewage, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Where is this study funded from?
That's
That's my question.
Come out of your budget. See, and one of those things is currently, the next question is there funding sources available that you're aware of to fund something like this?
Yeah.
Current.
We're talking about the regionalization. Do you want to explain that? Yes, sir.
Sure. So SRF, the State Revolving Fund, through the Indiana Finance Authority, one of their big pushes here recently has been regionalization, has been septic tank elimination, eliminating the amount of NPDS permits they have. So that's definitely something that I would recommend you pursue, if you want to. After a study, it just seems like the last 3 or 4 years, it's been the real big push, is just regionalizing.
So is that a grant or is that a loan, what you spoke of?
Sometimes it's both.
Yeah.
Okay, so they'll buy projects down.
Yes.
See, because we can't get to the point where sewage is unaffordable.
Exactly.
No one will tie into that
Mhm.
either.
Yeah, and they look at the affordability and the income of the area. Sometimes there's, the household income, right, from census data. Sometimes there's additional funding, right? So those are all things that we would
We
look
haven't
at.
qualified for an Okra for a while.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Okay, well,
Would Region 15 be able to help us with this, Randy?
They can look at it, yeah, but one of our challenges is that under Okra, it has to be an income-based.
Yes.
And what we generally have happen to us here is the people with higher incomes fill out the surveys, and the ones with lower incomes do not, and it skews us high. And then it takes away our eligibility for Okra grants. It's just, it's the nature of it.
Yeah.
And when they do a study like that.
yeah. So even if the income part isn't good, but if you have record of failing septic systems or, water quality issues, that's one of the state's priorities too, that they want to try to help contribute to those kind of priorities too. So, this area that we're looking at is more of, for economic development.
Right, it's not, we don't have that much development in that area currently. It's the idea is the 64 runs through there. We're one of the undeveloped interchanges on 64 in Indiana.
Mhm.
And we're kind of in the middle of the state. We have a lot of potential there,
Right.
but we have to have infrastructure to support them.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah, so I was going to explain what we would deliver at the end of this is a technical memo that would kind of talk about all the options, including the option for a regional sewer district, and then cost estimates, figures that kind of show where the connections are. Like if we decide that we can connect down at the Branchville, there might be a route that we look at for how that would connect and then give you a cost estimate, right? So it's a little more detailed than maybe what you had before. And then if you are going to submit for funding, they always ask for an engineering study, right? So for grants and loans. And so this would take you one step closer to having that prepared if you were going to decide to move forward with funding, right? So,
So this would be suitable as an engineering study
yes.
for most, okay.
Yes, and we're not doing the full, like, assuming you go SRF funding, there's a lot they require in that, but you could start with this and add to it if you decided that you wanted to go for the SRF funding. So this would just get you the engineering part done, and then you could add to that to get a full PER is what they call it, a preliminary engineering report. So we didn't want to give you that as a full because there's a little more cost to that.
Right.
This tech memo gives you kind of what you need to make some decisions at a little bit of a lower cost.
So one of the challenges that I'm thinking, and will you tell us, for instance, the Tell City pressured line needs volume. That's why they have the prison on it. But if we set at 64 and had, as an example, a warehouse facility that had 50 or 100 employees there at max, and they only use restrooms, limited water, and that's a 4 or 5 mile pump. Are you going to tell us that we're really going to struggle with keeping that? If we decide to take a force main from 64 to Branchville, if it's acceptable to Tell City to do that, are you going to tell us that, you don't have the volumes, or you have to have the volumes, or where we're actually at if we chose something like that?
Yeah, and I
Will
would
we know
tell
that at
you,
the end of the study?
yes,
That's my
I would, and within the tech memo, I'd let you know that, you could maybe do it, you might need to add some more, try to get some more volume on there, put more lift stations in between, which the web wants to do. But we're running into that quite a bit right now with low flow, long distance force mains. So they can be done, but they are a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah,
But we'll let you know if that's, a feasible option or what it would take to make that a feasible option. Looking at it on paper, that's a long way for sewage to go and still be good sewage by the time it gets to Tell City.
Right.
22 miles is quite a long way for
Randy, could
sewage to go.
come from the other way from Patoka? I'm sure there's lines.
There's no sewer. That's our biggest. Water's up
The
there.
sewer is the
Yes,
biggest
the sewer's
problem.
a problem, and the volume's the problem. We don't have
Yeah.
the volume, and then it's challenging up there because of it's the egg and the chicken thing. Are we gonna if we never get a sewer line in there or water, then no one's ever gonna locate.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
Patoka's one other that we would look at because they do have wastewater treatment plant, right?
Yeah, I think it's a little further north though.
Yeah. So we would at least look at it to say, hey, if they upgraded their capacity and you put all new infrastructure in, could you get it there, right? So we would just look at that as a potential as well.
So is there any options for like low volume septic systems for commercial usage, where you could handle lower volumes of water as an alternative to grow the area?
Gotcha.
And then step 2 would be we'd come in and complete whatever infrastructure once we got our volume up to make this work with a actually processing plant. I mean, I don't know whether that's,
Yeah, we could look at that as an option.
if you knew what the soil conditions were up there and what we might be able, how we could possibly do that, or some type of aeration or something
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
give
Are
us
you
more.
open to a regional sewer district that you might, develop a plant and treat your own and,
I mean, we're open to whatever is cost effective.
yeah.
I mean, I know at one time, we would have to, if we do anything utility-wise, the county doesn't need to get into the utility business. So they would want to partner with somebody to, I'm sure, manage it.
Oh,
Take
yeah,
over.
there's a whole process. There would be a utility board and an
Right.
entity that would be the regional sewer district, right? So it wouldn't necessarily be the commissioners managing that, but it would be an undertaking, right, that others would have to be on board. But it's potential. We helped Posey County put one together, regional sewer district. We're evaluating a study up in Kosciuszko County right now. They want to do the same kind of thing to look at a regional sewer district and look at how they might serve some of the areas of their remote county, right? So there's other counties that are considering that, so.
Guys, what you thought? Your price was like 20,000.
Yes.
Yes. This is for the basic, what we're gonna need.
My concern always is if we spend $20,000 and there's no way to feasibly fund it or do it, are we just wasting resources?
Where would we pull it from?
We'll take it out of economic development would be my,
I was thinking.
because that's what it is.
My only question would be about the other water situation that maybe we need to figure out what's happening with that first.
It's one of those, this has to work in conjunction,
Mm-hmm.
because that's something that is a little bit ahead of the sewer line, and there's no reason to duplicate it.
Right.
And it needs to make sure it coordinates.
Is there any way we could come up out of Crawford? Because they're as close, they
Yeah, but I
actually,
don't know.
but I don't know if Crawford comes out of Patoka also.
There's a Patoka water line, I think, close to the interstate.
Yes.
Yes,
Up there.
just because I know it runs down around Magnet and down in there.
Yeah, and I know, and Antro and Troy Townships and Patoka work well together.
Mm-hmm.
So whoever's the closest that can serve the people, there's not a territory issue there. They work very well together. So
I mean, I'm talking about the sewage.
I don't believe there's any sewer line close. The biggest problem
That
of
would
it
be in
is
Crawford.
the distance you have to pump it and the volume. If you got the volume, it'll move. If you don't have the volume, you've got to push it a distance. It's a problem.
I was going to add that we would gather any available information you have, right? So this other project that you're talking about, or any previous studies that have been done, we would get in touch with all the other utilities to find out what kind of capacity they have, what pumping, what size their pipes are, right? So we just gather as much existing information as we can to then focus on this one goal of yours would be to, how do we serve this intersection for economic development? So.
When are we supposed to know on the other project?
We're starting today.
I mean, I hate to push you guys off, but I think
Could
it's
you
a
give us a
early.
little,
Yeah,
maybe a little time? Because I think at some point here, we may want to get the other water co-ops and have this
Get
discussion.
everybody
with them.
together
And so,
with you all.
because they're gonna have to provide the volumes and the capacity and what they have, at some point anyway. So just to get, just to kind of get this a little more comfortable, then we'll kind of see where we are, not spend a lot of money, but sit down.
And we had gotten proposals that ranged from $20,000 to $96,000 just for this part, so, yeah. we can certainly do that.
Looking from the outside, just not understanding, but how does this go in tying in this other project and this tie in with the $500,000 we did for a study for Antro with ARPA money?
We didn't do a study. We put water lines in.
But does that go with this?
Yeah, well,
That's what I'm saying,
we're in the
doing that work?
process, and you're gonna hear it in a moment here, we're looking to get a $14 million,
Grant.
well, partial grant, partial, we have to come up with some money, but to put water lines in Perry County.
And that's what that was.
And that will, Antro did 20 or 25 families is what they got. And they didn't get themselves connected on the backside between their system, Troy Township, to backfeed those people in the event of a line failure. And what we're trying to do is build redundancy within the county so that whether Patoka has an issue, Tell City has an issue, I think they're hooked up even to Troy, they can shoot water back through these systems so that people don't have to boil water.
Mhm.
They don't have to think they're gonna be without water in the event of a line failure, pump failure, or whatever within the system. So that's part of the goal is redundancy, and secondary is to serve all the people in the county We had 350 of them signed up.
And this would be the next step with the sewer.
And then the sewer part of this is in conjunction with that out on 64. Right now, that's one of the few intersections that's not developed. And there's some interest, but we have to have the infrastructure out there. We're gonna be looked over from now till forever until we can say, well, build your facility here and you've got water and sewer. And you have access to Interstate 64, 69, up through Ohio and that. We're in a good location. 69's going south now, but we have to have our infrastructure in place.
That's good to know. I mean, that's where I've not known all of this work that's going on. So, I mean, it's good to know that we're moving forward in that step.
That's what we're doing.
Well, and
We're trying.
hearing some of that too, that it sounds like there's maybe this bigger plan for water. And if our state needs to focus on the sanitary and wastewater side of it, we could, change paths so that there isn't that overlap,
Okay.
right?
Right.
So,
That's what we don't
Yeah,
want to
that's-
do.
yeah,
And we want to make sure that whatever action's taken water-wise, it doesn't make it a burden on sewer. So it has to kind of all coordinate together to make sure it makes sense.
yep, they are
what we're
connected. Yep. Very good.
And that's why I think we're a little hesitant about, if we start going in all different directions, we need to have this all coordinated. So it's
Yeah, everybody needs to get together on this.
So,
Very good.
Because if you do one thing and then the other group, it's
Doesn't
not
also
working,
work.
then you just wasted your time, money, and everything else.
Sure. Yeah, understand that for sure. Thanks for explaining that.
and it's better, we'd rather do it on paper rather than try to fix something that's already in the ground.
Oh, yeah.
It's cheaper.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, two more things from me. First, you have two resolutions that I provided you. Resolution R-C-26-1. Two single sheets of paper, one's double-sided. So in talking about the grant that we're seeking, or the funding the congressional funding we're seeking,
Yeah.
There it is.
It is right there.
So in this funding that we're seeking, the $15 million, one of the things that Commissioner Cole and I have talked about is the opportunity to use a provision of the statute that authorizes public-private agreements between municipal or county government and private developers. This is also often referred to as the BOT, or Build, Operate, Transfer Statute. It's Title 5, Article 26 or 23, so 5-23. Ultimately, what this allows you to do as a county, rather than following the traditional design build method of procurement. So you go out, you hire an engineering firm, they design this water system, and then you go out and publicly bid it. If you adopt 5-23, you can send out an RFPQ, or request for proposals and qualifications, from qualified developers that then submit a proposal to you. You work through a scoping period where you and the developer sit down and detail out, okay, here's the budget constraint. This is all we have to work with. You need to fit this project within this budget, and then give them the details and the specifications that you want them to use while they design the project. And then ultimately they go out and get proposals and bids after it's designed, and then execute the project. The reason that this is a little bit unique is typically municipalities and county governments are required to use the build, or the design build method, or that's the one that's typically utilized. This statute actually was first used in Indianapolis when they built the RCA Dome, or the former Hoosier Dome. And so it was a way to fund projects at a lower cost, because there's inherently additional costs that come with a design build aspect of project procurement. So this is a way of bringing a developer in, They then select a team to design and construct the project, and then ultimately turn it back over to you. So the reason it's called build, operate, transfer is they build it, they operate it for a period of time. Usually it's between 10 and 30 days, and then they transfer it back to the county, or they transfer it back to the utility, whoever the end user is. They can also just hold it and continue to operate it in perpetuity. That's used less commonly for public infrastructure projects, but the first step to this, before you can entertain build, operate, transfer as an option for procurement, is you need to pass a resolution that authorizes the county to do that. So the first resolution that you have is the authorization. So basically setting forth that the county would be allowed to use build, operate, transfer, or the public-private agreements. And then the second resolution, R-C-26-2, is authorizing it for this specific purpose, and then creating a committee that would issue the RFPQ and then would review those proposals once the developers submit them, and then make a recommendation back to the Board of Commissioners at a future meeting date. The reason these are separated is, first, we have to have the authority to do it, and then the second piece is setting it up for this specific project. So this would be for creating an RFPQ for the Perry County Rural Water Project under 5-23 of the Indiana statute. Under the recitals, you have section 2 appoints an RFPQ evaluation committee. I've tentatively put in there all 3 commissioners being on the committee, a representative of the Antrim Water Authority, General Manager Jackie Hilgardner, and then I also placed in there a blank, because I think it would be good, certainly don't have to, but I think it would be good if you had at least one council member on there to sit on that committee. Ultimately, collectively, that committee then can meet virtually, or they can meet in person, either one, and then review the RFPQ, approve it to go out. Then we go out and solicit proposals, and then once those proposals come in, committee reviews those and then makes a recommendation back to the Board of Commissioners. So with that, be happy to answer any questions. I've thrown a lot at you, but does anybody have any questions on either one of those resolutions, the process, or even the purpose of the statute?
I think we're probably going to want to add Troy Township Water.
Yes.
And also Patoka.
Okay.
Because I think it's going to impact them, and they need to be comfortable with everything that's coming about.
You'll basically have to have odd number of people, correct, for voting?
You don't have to.
And this is more just, I think, a group to come together and put together specifications.
Oh,
right,
okay.
that they're comfortable with, and part of it is because we're doing the whole entire county, depending on whose system you're
Okay.
going to be on, and how it,
Yeah, whether it
the
be
volume of
Patoka or
water,
Troy
and who you're
Township.
going to be
Okay.
impacting, and I think that all needs to be coordinated to make sure that something's not developed that creates heartburn for one of the utilities because of something that was done. They just need to be a part of that process.
And you're not required to have the committee, but in a case like this where you don't have full-time staff that manage your capital projects such as this, I think the committee makes sense because it makes sure that the elected officials have buy-in. So that's why I'm recommending that in this case. Normally, in municipalities, it may be directed to Department of Development Services or Engineering Department, but in this case, I think having the committee makes sense. And again, that committee can meet virtually, they can meet in person. It's not, it's kind of an ad hoc committee, if you will. Oh, and the other thing too, I want to point this out because there's a lot of misconception about this. Typically when you do a design build project, like I said, you're hiring an engineer, you're spending money to do the design, and then you may bid the project and it may be way over your budget, maybe way over what you're able to spend. With this, there is no upfront cost for the scoping period of the project. So the developer would come on board and then they would work with you on a scoping period, and that period can be 2 weeks, it can be 6 months. It's really whatever is necessary. But we would define that in the RFPQ. You don't pay anything on the front side. Once you enter into an agreement with them, then that's when then you're on the hook for a financial commitment. But during that scoping period, there is generally no cost to that.
I'm good with it. I think we just need to update with the
Patoka and
sign.
Troy Township.
meet
Members.
again to sign this once that's updated, or?
Do we need to?
I can change it. I can change, if you want to approve it, subject to those changes, then I can update this and get it to Chris so you guys can sign it. It's up to you.
And I'm okay.
What is needed? I mean, the faster we can do this, the better.
I'm telling you, I'm so happy that we are working on water in this county.
Mhm.
There's so many people that need water. It was a shock to me how many people did not have water.
Yeah, Councilor Harding posted something
And
the other day,
it,
that video that
Yeah, I'm one of those residents. We don't have access
And
to
trucking.
to
Yeah.
water.
It's a shame. It really is a shame that things have been looked over. But now we're moving forward with it, and I'm hoping people will have water.
It's the whole process of, and if we're wanting economic development,
Right, that also,
you've got to provide infrastructure. Or
well, all in the same turn, if you want people to move to this county, to build homes, to move into property, I'm one of the people that, and I have lived where I have had to haul water. Would I live somewhere else where I had to haul water? Absolutely not. I'm not at the age that I can do it. I don't want to. It's ridiculous.
So I'd entertain a motion, let's do them individually. And this first one, Jonathan, I'm assuming that's a universal one.
Once you adopt this,
Okay,
until
so
you
that
retract it.
any projects going forward that we may want to use the BOT on, this makes us eligible to do that.
The only thing
And
you would
then
need to do at that time is then just
The
adopt
secondary one for
secondary
whatever the
for that
project is.
specific project.
Okay.
Yep.
So the first one, I'd entertain a motion to accept the resolution that actually allows the county to enter into BOTs, which is build, operate, transfer agreements for projects.
I'll make a motion.
Second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
The next one is a resolution to, this is to set up a committee, and we're pursuing a $14 million grant funding opportunity to put water into the county. And it has a timetable that's pretty aggressive, so we have to move.
I'll make a motion 100%.
I second that.
A motion, a second, all those in favor?
And just for clarification, that motion and second included the amendment, including Troy Township Water and Patoka Water. as well.
Right, a representative from, I'm not exactly sure who they want, but
We'll reach out to them.
That's just on the two, though.
that's just it.
Correct, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions for me?
If you want to start sending emails on what you want on the website, as long as I'm copied on those emails, then I can put everything on the website. We can even add a redevelopment page if need be.
Okay.
So just include me in the loop because we can do that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next item we have on our agenda is Ken Robertson.
So this is concerning the message board, and I sent an email. I think this is the same papers that you received with the email discussing the quote, and I just wanted to give a little information of some of the things that this message board could provide for the county. Everything in the Armory Annex could be included with this message board. EMA, Soil and Water, the Health Department, to educate the community on the things that are going on or information that we need to get out. Being close to the school, it is a great opportunity to catch those that maybe aren't so big into social media. So, with newspapers unfortunately dying, there's other methods that we have to look at as far as getting information out. And this does seem to be an effective way to do that.
Is this the only quote that you have?
It is. It's the only company that I know of locally. I didn't reach out to another entity, like another state or even bigger city. I could probably look at maybe like Evansville or Louisville.
Yeah, it's
I just know locally these, the ones that we have are through this company, this particular company. They have a great warranty. It's a 5-year warranty. Training is included in this, and as well as the program. And, like I said, we have access to the person that knows how to use them. So that's helpful to me.
I don't know who did theirs, but I know the 4-H. They put theirs up there at the foot of the hill.
Right.
And who did theirs? Do you remember, Randy, who did theirs?
I think Scott did.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, that's really
Most
nice.
of them have been done in town.
I think our only, as far as Becky's concerned, I believe we have to get, or we try to get at least 3 quotes.
3.
on
Okay,
this
so I
kind of-
need
This
to,
kind of money.
sure.
We don't necessarily have to bid it,
Yeah,
but I think there is, state statute requires us to,
I can,
and have documentation supporting that you have those.
yeah, I can have them send information via email.
And then we also, I don't know how much it says right here, you have to have a third-party electrician. So I don't know what that,
Right, and I haven't reached out to anyone. Scott gave me an estimate,
okay.
and I do have that allocated. But, I figured one step at a time, if I got the okay, from you guys to move forward, then I can do the other.
So who's gonna be
Thanks.
responsible for putting all the graphics and everything out there?
Well, so we have someone at the health department that's very technically inclined. So that would be ideal, but I mean, I would be willing to say that I can, oversee to ensure that there's something proper or.
One of your challenges with all these signs is keeping them fresh. And when you think about, an image being there 5 seconds, 10 seconds,
Right. Yeah.
it's a lot of volume and it's a lot of work, and it's because you have to, if you replay the same stuff over and over again, then people
Don't
ignore
look
it.
at it. Yeah.
So that is an area that and some people are natural and others really struggle.
Yeah.
Keep-
Yeah.
Keeping it up.
Fortunately, we have lots of information to share, because we have different departments and we take care of a lot of different things. So, I think that information, the ability to have that and to upload it, and I haven't seen the program yet, but Scott assured me that it was easy to use, user-friendly. And I have spoke to someone that has one of the signs and she likes it as well, and she's not a very techie person either. So I feel pretty confident that we can handle that part.
First of all, thank you. Thank you for taking this on. I mean, I think it's important for the community to know what's going on and what's available. Because like you said, not everybody's on Facebook and watches
Right.
that. And you guys have a lot going on out there.
We do.
With that, are you guys keeping your webpage up to date? I mean, is that something, because that's the whole thing with us giving each department their own webpage to route people to the website. I know, I use that a lot to route people to forms where they don't have to come in information. So there's
As far
another
as
thing.
the forms, yes, through an island, is that what you're
Well, each
talking about, the
department,
web?
yes,
page?
each department has their own web page that they can control in their office.
Right. Well, and the nursing side kind of takes care of that. So I don't have that information, but as far as that webpage, I think that Amanda, since Tara left, Amanda is taking care of that, and being that she's new, she's starting it.
Yeah.
And you're paying for this out of your Health First money that you had set aside for an assistant?
Yes,
How you-
so Health First Indiana provided us in '25 with with monies for what we budgeted for an assistant. Not that I wouldn't love to have an assistant or, even a part-time, but I knew once the gentleman that I had trained and working for 1 year, when he quit, it took that full year to train him to be on his own. And we had knowledge that the money was not going to continue. So rather than putting the time into training another person that I knew I couldn't afford to keep, I couldn't pay, I started looking at other options for how we could use this money in a way that would be lasting and good for the community.
And
That's
so that's where the funding's coming from.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's 100%. It's a key performance indicator driven fund. So education it fits right in.
That's good. I'm glad you went that direction.
I think the only thing that it would probably, and tell me if I'm wrong, because I think she has a 5-year warranty, at least through Scott, we would have a little bit higher of an electric bill at the armory.
That's
I think that would be the only impact for
Yeah.
the county that I'm aware of,
It's for the community.
so.
And I don't know how much that increases, but I can find out.
Yeah, I don't think it's a substantial, and it's all LED, so I don't believe it's
True.
huge.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's for the community. And it's a good thing.
So, I think she needs to reach out and get
2 more
other
quotes.
quotes. But are we supportive of this and revisit it whenever she gets her, is that what?
I am, yes.
Are we for sure the money with, is it Health First is going to be gone? It's not questionable? Because if you need a person, you need a
Right.
person, not a.
Right. And I do have other monies through this fund. I set aside a tire amnesty fund that I have not utilized yet because I was told that would not go towards the KPI, even though it's vector driven, but, so I have extra money there that could potentially be moved over into another position. We are still receiving HFI monies. It's just, there was a 73% decrease. So there was an initial big chunk,
Mm-hmm.
and now it has substantially lowered. Fortunately, I was able to purchase some equipment that has allowed me to do more things in the community. And now it's like, okay, what is the best use for this funding that is left? So moving forward, I would like to look at a different maybe type of position rather than what I had initially visioned. But there is funding going forward for like a part-time person.
Okay.
So,
When Kim and I had talked, we had talked it needed to come to the commissioners because the commissioners oversee property. So the steps of action is to come here, no different than the baby box, to ask your guys' permission. That's where your guys' role in this is, to make sure you guys are okay. Then she'll have to go to the state to make sure to change the line item of HFI once she gets approval from the state for changing the line item of the HFI, that'll come back to the council. So what you guys are approving is the approval of putting it on property.
Don't we have to pick the contractor? I think it's our
Once
requirement.
the
to sign a
proposals come
contract.
back in.
Once the proposals come back in, yeah.
So
If a
That's right.
contract goes in, yes.
I make a motion that we approve it with the stipulation we have 2 more
Quotes.
quotes on this.
I do have a question. So for the electrician, do I need 3 quotes for an electrician as well?
How much is it gonna be? Do you have any idea?
1,800?
I think you're fine on that.
Okay.
I think the cutoff, I'm keeping my mouth shut. There's a total amount, it's in state statute what you have to do.
2 options would always be great.
Okay.
If you,
State statute requires anything over 50,000, but as
That's
a
bid.
county, bidding out on that. As a county, we've always asked for at least 2 or not 3 bids.
Okay.
You're expected to get quotations on lower sums, multiple, so you can support the fact that you actually are
Sure.
candidate to just one individual.
Got you.
So,
And we appreciate everything.
yes, thank you. I think the motion's out there. I second it.
okay, we have a motion and a second to pursue this sign. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Now we have minutes to approve. First one up is minutes from 3/17/2026. It was a public hearing, and that was on transferring some excess property.
I make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Then we have a regular meeting of the same date, 3/17/2026.
I make a motion.
I second that.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
And then a special meeting of 3/24/2026.
I make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next item up is payroll for 3/27/2026, the amount of $174,174.82.
I make a motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Payroll withholding for the same date, 3/27/2026, in the amount of $36,305.69.
I make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Vision insurance in the amount of $287.69.
I make a motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Dental
Aye.
insurance in the amount of $357.10.
I make a motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Life insurance in the amount of $1,422.86.
I make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Medical insurance in the amount of $157,544.69.
I make a motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Solid waste claims for 4/6/2026 in the amount of $10,350.99.
I make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Accounts payable for 4/06/2026 in the amount of $284,784.30.
I make a motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Next item up is GIS mapping. Is this concerning hiring WTH?
Yeah, we wanted to talk about that. I know I sent an email to you guys, as this was added to the agenda on a special meeting. Prior to that, Nicole and Lisa had been in conversation, after that meeting, Nicole and Lisa in the auditor's office had been in conversation with Sean Scott with WTH to discuss, these items. So I've got Nicole here because she oversees the mapping of this. The proposed was for $6,500. Even talking with Sean after this, I'll let Nicole go into that. Do you want to explain your conversation?
I just think.
We can't make any exceptions.
Okay, so I think we're trying to understand how this is all gonna work. I know that we have some concerns. The picture that, where everything's whited out, except for that one piece of parcel that's got 2 and a 7 on it, right there.
Yeah.
Top one. Okay, so that's a layer that if I turn on GIS, it shows us parcels that are not tagged to anything, that does not have a parcel number, okay? So that one right there that looks like a little bow tie on GIS is not labeled to anybody. I know that was a concern because we were concerned that there was not tax bills tagged to that. So then we wasn't getting payment for that property. That property is actually in our tax system, but it's under a 99 number. So any numbers that are in our tax system that are labeled 6299 is properties that could not be plotted on GIS because the calls are too vague.
Couldn't be tagged to anyone.
Yes, because usually the legal descriptions refer to an old oak tree and a creek and stuff that's not there anymore. So that's those issues. I'm not sure how GIS plans on fixing those because that's gonna take some title search and some research.
And we spoke with Sean and they will not provide that.
Yes, and GIS, WTH will not provide any title work. So their quote that they gave us to fix all these issues, I don't think they're understanding.
How many do you think there are of those?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. How many issues do you think you have like this for,
99.
the 99s?
We have over 399 numbers in our tax system, okay? So in Lao, we send out bills with the 99 number, so we have over 300 of them, I think is what Mindy had told me. In our GIS system, we only have 99 numbers listed. So that means out of our 300, only 30 of them have been plotted into GIS. So I think that's just gonna take some
There's
research.
270 that need to be plotted in there. Okay, hold right. Andrew, did you get a copy of this?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Part of this is, and I think this goes back to Dan DuPont the same way. Here's the road. It shows up like it's not taxable, which is what it should be. It should not be taxable. But you have these little triangular pieces all over everywhere that are in addition to what the road is. So how do we clean this up? And one thing, the acreage, the next thing is if we have one of these unplotted areas and it has a building on it, it's a little vague on who gets the property tax bill then. I know you stated it's being taxed. Are we taxing these same people for the roadway?
Okay, so that individual owns the 2 pieces next to it. It was such a minor piece that somewhere within the time of deeding over and over, the legal description just got dropped. Or like I said, was not descriptive enough to be plotted in. There was no calls for
So,
it.
I mean, the guy with the bow tie, does he get paid, does he pay taxes
Yes,
on the road?
no. So technically, this
So how
should
did-
be
Yeah, it should be,
drawn
but-
in and would be a piece.
So,
His acres is only, because I pulled back, and this is where I'm saying it's gonna take some title search. I had to go back some deeds. And the acreage that he got for this, which was like 2.9 or something, that's what the deed had stated, and that's what it measures. So that's what I'm saying,
So
is there's
then-
gonna be, you're
so
gonna
then
have
you,
to
in your
pull.
99 number, if I understand correctly, you have pulled this out and only taken this partial and taxed him for it, whereas all the rest of this that's out here is untaxed.
Non-taxable, correct.
And then even like this piece?
That one, I'm not sure where that one belongs. I was just looking at this one.
In this
I
map
think
in
how do we
here,
clean this up?
is the majority of these 270 out of the 300, are they in the county or are they in the cities?
Can be both.
Do you know what the majority is?
I do not.
Have you ran across any in any of the cities?
I do know there is some in the cities, and usually there's such a minor little slither
Slice.
of something. But if it's not plotted in GIS, when you turn on that layer to show plotted parcels, it will show up.
And what you're saying is WTH can't fix that either. So basically,
No, because you'll have to pull it, and then you're gonna have to double check it, and then you're gonna have to search it. So that's one issue that we're gonna have.
Okay, but they can fix everything but the ones that require deed
A
search.
lot of that.
They can fix the ones, because I know they have a layer that is, I guess, from years prior. So like if someone has went in and accidentally deleted a parcel, okay? They can put in that underlying layer and it will show who owns
The
that.
previous.
So then GIS can draw that in for us, yes. But if that piece does not fill in with that underneath, that underlying layer that I do not have access to, we will have to do title search and we will have to figure out who it belongs to.
So the low hanging fruit would be looking at old layers to see what they can correct. And then maybe you can limit the amount
Yes.
of problems just by simply doing that.
Yes, and then that would leave what we would have to figure out.
Right.
Now,
So-
that one is the
Yeah.
geo issues. So that means like those little tags that are hanging out, how that green line shoots up all the way down the side,
Yeah.
that should be tagged in with that piece of property. So that just means that there was probably a split. So you see how you have 25 and then you have 25.1. That means that that 0.1 was split off of that 25.
Right.
When they split it, the vertexes did not snap together, so it left that tail hanging out of the property. Okay, we have multiple properties that look like that with these little tails that have to be cleaned up. I think we have 300 of those. I have been working on them, but they are very time consuming. Obviously, to go in and snap all those vertexes back together, bring in that line so it fills in the parcel.
So is that something that WTH can do?
They can do it a lot faster than I can, but I think that we need to just kind of figure out, I mean, we have a list of, I think, 5 or 6 different issues and different types of issues.
Biggest concern we wanted to bring to you guys is our conversation with Sean after the last meeting, brought him into our office, is that the 6,500, I mean, him and Nicole worked on some things that he added some layers and stuff that she didn't have access to before, where she can start looking at some stuff, to maybe some things that we can do on our own to fix those. Like she said, it's super time consuming on that, but most of these are going to be issues with title search that is going to end up costing more with the outside.
Our goal is not to add work to your department, but
Yeah, I think that
But-
GIS is an understanding either on their quote, on what else, you know what I mean? Like, I think we all need to understand what GIS's quote is. I think they
going
need
to take care
to
of
tell you that the title searching.
I mean, it looks like
included in that.
both. Like, we're probably gonna need both. Like, we're
Yeah,
gonna need your help and we're gonna need,
Yeah,
These are just long time. I know that Nicole and Lisa are very thorough right now, which I know sometimes that, if the callings are not there, we deny it. We're trying to clean, it's gonna take some time to clean some of this up and some title search. The other thing was, we have a lot of, that do not have a tax bill. We talked about this.
Yes, okay, so originally when we started this, Eagle View complained about, they gave us a whole huge list. I think it was like 17,000 or something parcels that we had issues with.
Not 17,000 are total parcels in the county.
So
I think
some
it
of
was
these,
1,500.
was it 1,500? Some of these, they couldn't find tax numbers for. Well, that's because we have a lot of properties that are tax exempt. So there is not a tax bill number out there. And you got a program like Eagle View that's doing assessments, right? So they're gonna be looking for that tax bill because that's what they want to adjust and correct. Well, then you have GIS, which is mapping. So you have 2 different programs doing 2 different things. So your mapping isn't gonna have tax bills, tax bill numbers for properties that are tax exempt. So WTH was
the
working with
question is,
Eagle
should
View on that
they
because they
have a
should have
number?
No, because they
No.
get bill.
Okay.
they don't get a bill.
But then how come I see some that come in and they've got that tax number and it says exempt on them? Because I find those, whether it's a church or a school or.
A tax number is in the GIS, like a parcel number or like
Well,
a
it's a
tax
parcel number and I'm thinking, wouldn't a third number or whatever, one of the numbers in there designates the category of the property? And whether it's agriculture, vacant, agricultural with buildings, and I was thinking that was a number. I'd have to look at a whole number to figure out which one it was. But I thought it called them out within that number. 62 is our county number, and then it goes through the whole process. And I think it designates what they are. And then at a point, it will sit there and it will say exempt. Now, maybe these were created as, let me give you an example. The hospital just purchased Dr. LeClaire's office on Main Street. That would have had a tax number. He was private, they paid their taxes. When the hospital purchased it, then it went exempt, okay?
That did
So-
not change their 62 number.
Right, so that parcel would come up, it would have a tax number, but it would be marked exempt.
Correct.
See, and I think that's the question.
Yes.
Shouldn't we
But
have numbers for all of them, even though they're exempt property, but we would have a designation that would,
a lot of our parcels that, because we have parcels that are assigned GIS numbers, the 62 whatever numbers, but then in our tax system, they're 99s. So because something to do with the tax bill. I'm not really sure on the billing side of it, but I know that what Sean explained to me is that Eagle View is looking for a tax bill number, and we have parcels that are tax exempt that do not have those numbers. I'm not sure exactly how the billing part works
wasn't
on
that your
that.
question though, Pam?
Yeah,
Should
why-
they not have a tax number?
Can
If-
we give
if
it a
we're
tax
not
bill
creating-
number?
I would assume if we're not creating them a bill, that's why they don't have one. Now, we could, I guess, create one and then they would just have a bill that we would not mail them maybe. I'm not sure that would be, I'm not
I
sure
don't
that's
think,
how
I
it's
don't think,
on.
I don't think you mail the exempt organizations.
No,
bill.
we don't.
From what I understood, when I took it in with Sean, is that that Eagle View was trying to match tax bill numbers to parcels. And there were some that he couldn't match tax
There wasn't
bills
one
to
out there.
parcels. And when Sean was looking through those, most of those were non-exempt or were tax exempt. So therefore, they didn't have a tax bill number. So you have parcels out there that aren't linked to a tax bill number, and that's why.
So my
So we
question,
just
I guess, can we reach out to like Du Bois or Spencer County to find out? I mean, what do they do? for
I think a lot of
this?
people have these problems where it's just until title work and the conversations I've had with
See, Eagle
other
View
counties.
said they could just make up numbers and put them in, and I think that'll be a fiasco.
Oh, yeah.
I would rather that we would
So you know
assign
the
a number
numbers, yeah,
and give it a category that's a exempt number, whatever
kind of
that.
like the 99s, that way you know
But
that those.
generate those, because what they're trying to do is to tie a photograph to a parcel.
And then a
So if
parcel
there's
to a tax
So
bill.
if there's, yes,
Mm-hmm.
so that, if it's got a building on it, and then they go through, well, yep, building this size, who owns it, tax exempt, okay, that one's done. But if they come in and they see a building, they have no tax bill, or the numbers don't add up, they go, well, is it or is it not? Whose building is this? Should it be taxed? And that generates the question, and that's why.
We'll move forward with working with WTH and bring the information back to you. We'll get everything cleaned up that we can, but anything that's gonna entail title work, we're gonna hold off until we
I
discuss
think
with you.
that's fair.
Does that sound good?
We should be able to lower the amount of properties that need to be researched if we
Well-
get rid of the other stuff, and then it'll just be a
And that's
deed
what we
issue.
wanted to do too, is meet with him, because if we can even get that 6,500 down, but it required him giving us access to
Right.
other layers for her to be able to do that, rather than,
Nicole, are you running into any properties with a large amount of acreage? That is,
No, we do have some that NGIS has a 62, like a normal parcel number, but in our tax system, they're under a 6299. And some of them are government-owned, forestry, stuff like that. I mean, there is some things that I can do on my end.
okay.
GIS can do their little tricks to help clean some things up, but I just,
And I think what we're offering is that $6,500 would help you guys. Let them clean up what they can, and then we're gonna
Whatever
have
they
to
can do
tackle some of
quickly,
this other
fast,
stuff.
and do it.
yeah, I just want
See,
to
it's
make
like-
sure you guys knew that
Like
not
this
gonna
one
take several
here,
It's not
this
gonna
one here
fix.
looks like it's been drawn into a really strange shape with a tail.
Yeah, and that's
And then
because,
this one here looks like it should be pushed up to this line, which will close in this area.
it's just off center.
so this was split from this piece. So when they drew it, they just didn't. But here's the trick to that too, is that sometimes back whenever before me, they would draw in easements on GIS. That's probably not an easement because it's going through trees. But sometimes they would draw in easements,
So then
and
you got it there.
that is kind of like, I hope GIS can decipher.
What it is.
Not that we necessarily draw in easements because they don't have assigned parcel numbers.
Right.
I think they just used to, so people have the visual.
It's not surveyed though. so
Yeah,
you don't have
exactly.
the-
Yes, yeah, exactly.
It
So
sounds like it's a mess.
it
It is a mess.
Just a total mess. It should have been taken care of years ago.
It's an accumulation of,
But Nicole's gonna work with WTH.
Thank
Get
you.
this as much as we can, and we'll
Yep.
copy back
So-
with you.
I guess you guys need to discuss, I don't know what, we're gonna let them do what they're doing for their,
I say whatever we
65
can get
and
for the
then we-
6,500 to
Let
get
them
cleaned
do it.
up as soon as possible, or
Right.
if you want.
I think what you want to do is the low hanging fruit. Let them fix it. They acted like they could do it for 30 days. I think part of their issue is that once they get started through the system, they don't want anybody else changing anything. They want
Which
to
is
make,
gonna build up for.
well, they're going to go ahead and put the changes in for you.
yes.
And then
So-
that way, they know that going in, they modify it, coming out, they've done everything and they can hand it back. Rather than potentially they get started and then different people are changing different things on them and they go, wait a minute.
Yeah, they said they're gonna lock it down for 30 days. And like, if I have a split that comes in, I will not be able to split it on GIS myself. I'll
You
have to
just
send it to them.
and they'll
We'll
Right.
split it, give me my parcel, and then I'll do it from there.
Right. That way they're controlling it while they're making these modifications. I think that was their.
I think as long as we have visual access to GIS, that's the big thing. I know.
And I
a lot of
think
offices use
it needs to be timely. I mean, if you have a split, within a few days, they could put
Well,
it.
he says that, I guess there's a lot of, some counties out there that don't do splits at all in their office. They just always send them to WTH and they do it themselves.
They're such a pain.
The splits are a pain, so I mean, I really.
And they charge them on a,
It's something
I
we
meing,
may
they
want to
do.
look at it to do that.
but,
If we can get it, we got to first get it cleaned up.
he said they can usually do it within a couple hours.
So we'll revisit that and just keep in communication on it.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
then look at that
That's the
going
main thing,
forward.
communicating with them.
Sound good?
Thank
So
you,
Are
Nicole.
you in charge of it here then?
Yeah, she was up on that.
All right.
Lucky you.
Next item we have is the award of the community crossings bid. The state has authorized us to enter into that contract. So I'd entertain a motion to approve the just recently bid community crossing.
Absolutely, 100%.
I make a motion.
Rewarding it?
Second.
All those in favor? Yes, we are, Chris.
Who are rewarding it?
CNR Construction.
Okay.
Steve should have it here. Don't you, Steve? Got all the paperwork.
I do. I've got a paper for you three to sign.
You are ready.
I hope so.
And this
So
is
they
the
gotta
one that's
start on
going
next
up
week?
over Girl Scout and down through those. Okay, great. Do you have any idea when they're gonna?
I don't know when they'll start on this.
That's what I was
They're,
asking.
that's
They're in
be finished
Branchville.
with Branchville. I think it just showed us on
I
there.
was hoping
Yes.
that while they're at the county,
Mhm.
they might just want to slip up there and do that.
Well, they might.
You could encourage them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Steve, I've had a lot of calls about out on Boyd Road where the slide was going down the hill.
Yeah.
And talking about what a nice job that is now since the job that was done on the blacktopping, they said is so nice. Who did that?
CNR.
So, okay, I was just wondering because, I mean, people are really
Yeah.
pleased with not having to go over the mountain and the hills and the ditches that was out there.
They do good work.
Yes, they do, but I mean, it's good job.
Thank you
I
guys.
think the motion's out there to approve that. I don't know if anybody
Yeah,
seconded.
we didn't hear it. I
Yeah, we
don't know
did.
if I missed it.
Yeah,
That's what
I
you
made
guys-
the motion
I didn't
and
hear it either.
you seconded it and it was.
Okay, Becky made a motion. I second it.
Oh, so it's opposite. Okay. We we could watch it. Yeah.
Okay, the next item up is amending the ordinance for the vacation of the public way. This one got me, what are we doing?
So,
Change the description?
no, we're just basically moving some of the things that were in the petition into the ordinance itself. So when I originally wrote this, I wrote the ordinance vacating, basically referencing back to the petition. The recorder's office and the auditor's office had some concerns about making sure it was very clear about who was getting it and under what address. So I basically amended the ordinance to put some of that information directly into it, move the margins down so there can be better recording. So essentially, we're not doing anything different other than putting their names right in there, the description and the address right in there.
Okay. So this
Basically, what
amendment-
happened is we gave it to the recorder, and I know she's not here, I'm not been in conversation, we didn't have the 2-inch margin. It was considered a blanket because and she wanted it verbally
Yeah.
in there, so then we took it back to Andrew.
Okay.
So we're good.
Any questions?
Mm-mm.
I'd entertain a motion to approve the amended ordinance.
I make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Animal shelter contract updated.
We have done it or not.
I thought I had updated it, but I don't have it for today.
I'll put it for next week,
Yeah.
or next month.
I'd entertain a motion to table that.
I make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, open board appointments. We had, as far as I know, one applicant for the Perry County Convention and Visitors Bureau, John Wanheinen. I'd entertain a motion.
I approve.
Becky,
I second that.
second. All those in favor?
We have been, I got one more thing. We have been getting calls from people who have applied, actually, I've got one call, sorry, asking about the health board. Are we in communication with
Yeah.
Andrew to get that information? So
The question again is the makeup of them and how we're classifying. From what I read state statute, we have to have a physician on that board.
I need to go through.
That has to be, yeah. Go
I don't
through
know if I was actually given like what like I have the names, but I don't know what these people do. Because
Look up-
the health board, they're specific to certain, like you need to have this, you need to have that, and I can't
One
confirm.
of our problems we have is if I read it correctly, we have to have a physician who resides in the county.
and we do not have one for them right
Now, when we don't have that, is there an alternative? What are we allowed to do? You know, to deal with that, so we properly have a board maker. So that's,
That's the only,
to go through that, and then I know state statute changed on designations. We cannot have more than 4 people affiliated with any specific party. And so clarify, because they put new restrictions on as far as primary voting, and that's how you get a designated party affiliation. So clarify
now. We have to look
exactly.
at that.
yeah,
It gets real
2000,
complicated.
effective 2023, if you voted in a primary twice before your appointment, you are considered affiliated with that party. But if you don't, so there's all different kind of statutory language about party affiliation. Some where you're required, like you have to definitively go out and find of different parties, and this is just not more than 4. So I bet a lot of those people probably aren't affiliated because they have not automatically voted and they're automatically
And see,
affiliated.
we have several that have voted in one party and then voted in another
Yeah,
party.
so you would not be affiliated essentially with either, because it has to be 2,
Consecutive.
I think, from your date of appointment,
So then,
the last 2.
when we have, I mean, what happens if we have mixed applicants? Okay, we can't have more than 4 of them?
I think you can have if I remember the statute correctly, I think it's 4, not more than 4 of the same party. So I think they would count as not affiliated because they don't, unless they have a party's chairman's certification, which I
Yeah, but
don't
my
know.
point is, so that if one voted Democrat, one voted Republican, what's the classification on that individual?
It would be unknown essentially. They wouldn't be affiliated with either party because I think it
Okay,
has
so
2.
can we have 7 unknowns?
Yeah, as long as they're not four of the same, or not more than four of the same party. So you could have all independents and there would be no, because it's not an official independent.
Now,
party.
there's nothing in the statute that classifies them as independents.
Yeah,
So can you clarify that's how that's
Yeah.
interpreted?
I'll double check.
Any information you need on what we got. We just have 4 letters of interest right now, but
Okay.
we can't appoint, they can't appoint anybody because we want to make sure we're in.
Okay.
And the positions probably are our most difficult position to fill on
Yes.
that.
So we'll have that in the animal shelter next meeting you're at.
With that said, I'd entertain a motion. Our next meeting is Tuesday, April 21st at 6 PM. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.